Hello. Good evening, traders. Good evening, traders. Yet another session of Trading Digest coming to you live this Sunday evening. Good evening. If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know in the chats. Welcome, everyone. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, great. Let's crack on. Yes, so before we go on, if you have any pair that you want me to have a look at, you can put it in the chat and then I'll do just that. Okay. All right. Okay, we have here DSY, the dollar index on my chart here. So on here I have the weekly charts. So for the past weeks we've been expecting DSY to make this move back to this area after causing this break of structure. But it hasn't happened yet. We're still waiting. After this break of structure, we're expecting price to move back to the origin, clearing this internal range of liquidity resting here. So already, as we can see, it has already cleared the liquidity resting here. Okay, all right, NAS, BTC Gold. Okay, we'll do just that. All right, so let's go on the daily time frame. So as I said, we're still waiting for this to happen. It hasn't happened yet. So if we currently on the daily time frame, if we zoom into maybe the 4 hour or even on the daily time frame, let me zoom out a little bit. So we can see we've created some liquidity down here, which has been cleared now. So the only place of liquidity remaining is here, which hopefully we get a reversal from here. Other than that, we just have to trade what we see, not forcing the market to do whatever we want it to do. Okay, so this is the consolidation area. After this push up, we had a change of character here, so we retrace back for a correction into the origin. So in the origin, we've also have this consolidation area of accumulation. So after accumulation, we want to see some form of manipulation or sweep of liquidity, which the liquidity that was formulated here has been swept. So from this point on, if we're going to get an up push, we'll see what happens from here onwards. So all we have to do is to keep on watching and monitoring what price does. So once we get the move that we want to see, we're more likely to take or join the trade. So as we can see, we are already playing out in this zone, this imbalance demand zone, that we've had this sweep of liquidity here. As you can see it clearly here, we've had this sweep of liquidity right here. So we pushed up, came back into it. So currently we are still in the zone. we are still in the zone. So the idea, the narrative that we are following, or we've built up from the higher time frame, is for price to take off from here back into this area, tackling all this liquidity resting here, internal range of liquidity resting right here. So this is what we are anticipating could happen. So this whole area is the consolidation area, accumulation area. Then we've had the sweep of liquidity. So after sweep of liquidity, we expect some form of expansion or distribution. So the distribution is what we are expecting to go back to where it came from. So let's be on the watch out. So this is DSY. So that same goes for all the dollar pairs. So let's look at gold. Oh, sorry. Let's just hop on NAS first, and we'll have a look at gold later on. Let's take this out. Clean the charts. Okay, so we have NAS here. NAS, let's take a step back to the weekly and see what is happening there. So we've been having this bullish run on NAS as well. The same as US 30. So all of them kind of move in the same kind of manner. And then if we look at US 500 SPS, the same thing, same kind of movement that we've seen on NAS US 30. So these are all-time high zones. So all-time high zone. Let's go back to NAS. Yeah. So so last week we were kind of expecting a push back to this zone, and then further push up. That hasn't happened yet. This is on the weekly. Let's drop down to the daily time frame. That hasn't happened yet, and we're still in a bullish run. Again, as I always say, we trade what we see, not until the market gives us what's so we trade, as I said, we trade what we see, not what we expect the market to, or we've not in a way that we're forcing what we have planned on the market. So these are all pending areas that sooner or later we could have a revisit here, sooner or later. So we have a situation here. We have a imbalanced supply zone here that has been broken above. So once we have this here, the narrative here is this: we would expect price back to this area. So now it's more or less an inversion fair value gap here. So this is the imbalance, which same as the fair value gap. So once price breaks above it, it come back and use it as a more or less a support. So we could expect price coming back to this area and then pushing up. So this is the kind of narrative that we would like to see, even though this is on the daily time frame. So it could happen first of all on the smaller time frame. We could see this. If there's going to be a reversal, we will first of all see it on the smaller time frame, much clearer. So if we drop down on the 4-hour time frame, so currently, as I said, we are in a bullish run. Price has been creating higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low. So that's a typical uptrend that we are in now. So this is the recent low that has been created. So it will be ideal if we see this area taken out. If we see this area taken out, so this on the 4-hour time frame. So if we have this taken out, then we could expect a pullback. So once we have this taken out, most likely we'll revisit this area. Then from here we can aim for join the uptrend. At currently, as it is, this is the plan. This is the plan that we most likely will be waiting for to see happen before we take advantage of. So we want to see this previous low points taken out, and then probably have a revisit to this zone, this inversion zone here. So let's be on the watch out. This is NAS. Yeah, let's so currently let's move to the 1 hour and see what's is giving us on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, okay. Okay, so this whole area that we've marked here on the 1 hour time frame, we can refine it to this zone here. We can refine it to this zone here. So this is the last we had this break of structure here. We had this break of structure right here. Okay, break of structure. Okay, so we had this break of structure here. So once we have this break of structure, we can also say the origin, because we had some form of consolidation right here. So we can also say the origin could be right here. So this is an area that we've been waiting for. So refining this area will be much ideal. Refining it to this area will be much ideal, because with the current break of structure, this is the origin. We had this consolidation here, and then from this point on we had the break of structure right on this candle, pull back to this zone, and then pushed up again. So as it is on the 1 hour time frame, we can see we have this bearish engulfing candle right here. So we'll see what happens from here. If we get a push back, so with this bullish run, so if we're looking at, we can take this area. So from here, the only imbalance that we can spot from here is this small one here, and then reading the market structure, it's all apart from this area, it's all looks efficient. There's no imbalance that I can identify right from this zone on. So it's all efficient, it's all balanced up until this point. So NAS being on a bullish run, you never know what could happen. So we could have a revisit, this area cleared, and then price turn away from here to the upside. We could have a revisit to this area. So this is 1 hour time frame. Let's go down to 15 minutes and see if we can further refine anything there, or spot anything that we are not seeing on the higher time frame. So refining this on the 15 minutes, this will now be on this candle, and from here there's just a tiny imbalance here, and then there's some imbalance here as well, some imbalance right here as well. So we have another imbalance. So the one that we identified on the 1 hour, I think this is where we can refine it to. So the market literally looks more or less efficient all the way, apart from, let's mark this, sometimes you never know, no matter how tiny it is, you could have price action returning to that zone before taking off again. So we have a tiny imbalance here. Reading the market structure all the way up to here, there's no inefficiencies that I can spot apart from this one, so, and this one. So we could have price revisiting this area. Where is this? Okay, let me take this out. So with this narrative, what I am looking at is price coming back to this area and then taking off. So as it makes its way back here, there are some form of liquidity resting here, internal range of liquidity, or resting along this area. So if we at least have something here and then we get a confirmation around this zone, we could take a buy from here. Looking at what happened last week, you can see how NAS more or less held its position right here and then took off from here. So we should expect price from here if we want to engage in any buys. I would say we expect price from this area. Where is my tool? Long position. So to the previous side. So if I've also said, you enter a position, you aim for 1:2. You risk one. For example, you're risking $100 or £100. You're aiming for £200 or $200, depending on your currency. So once we get price pushing to this area, this is what we are aiming for. When we get price pushing to this area, this is our target zone. So this is where we most likely would like to see price revisit and then take off. So again, we also have this this pending zone resting here, even though we've had a tap in here. If we can see with this move, after we broke above it, we've tapped into this area several times. So I would say it's more or less it's a done deal here, because if we have even a single tap in, it loses its potential. So it loses its potential to draw price back into this zone. So we've had quite a number of tapping into this zone. So if we're going to continue the uptrend, this is the areas that I would want to see any reaction from here that indicates we are returning to the upside. I will want to take my trade from here. So that's on NAS. Let's look at gold again. Let's look at gold. So as I said, trade what you see. don't try to force your beliefs onto the markets, or you get humbled. If you don't humble yourself, the market will humble you. That's what I'm saying. You trade what you see. Don't try to push your beliefs onto the markets. Trade what you see. All right, so this we have here is gold. Let's look at the higher time frame first of all, before we come down to the lower time frames. Yeah, so on the higher time frame, you can see how gold is flying. The whole of last week, it kind of did this run all up to here, creating all-time highs on gold. So last week we hit this all-time high of 3,674. So with that said, we can see we are in a bullish run. But also we've created these imbalances as we pushed up. So let's push up to, let's go down to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, so currently we're kind of holding at this level. We've been here for the past how many days? So about 5 days or so, holding at this level. So after a push up like this, we consolidate or accumulate. So whilst we are accumulating, we'll kind of form equal highs and equal lows, and then we expect price to take out either the low or the high. That's clearing the liquidity, and then back to where it originally wants to go. So this is on the daily. Let's push on to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can also see much details here, how we are creating equal highs right here, equal highs. Creating equal highs here, and then we're also creating equal lows. So all I'm doing is just trying to join 1 or 2 points of highs together, because we'll definitely have 1 or 2 candles pushing out of the range. So we have this equal highs and equal lows created. As we can see, before this push up, we had this area swept, this liquidity area swept, and then we had this bullish run to the high of the range. So as we can see, we are in a range at the moment. So for any reversal to happen after this range created, we want to see if it's going to turn around. We want to see price pushing up from here, taking out this liquidity, resting above here, the liquidity here as well. And then once we have that, we can at least have this scenario. So this is more or less a typical confirmation entry here. So once we sweep the liquidity above here, we break this low, here. So this on the 4-hour time frame, as I said, we break this low. As I will say, this, as I'm doing here, is fractal formation that you can find on any time frame. So ideally, I prefer to do more analysis on the 4-hour time frame, which is a higher time frame. So if I, for instance, get a bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour time frame, it gives me more confidence to take a trade on my entry time frame. So once we have this breakup structure here, we anticipate, or will be expecting price to come back to test here. So if we get this kind of scenario, we be looking to take the trade to the south. We'll be looking to take the trade to the south most highly. So from here we can target the most recent low points, or we go in for 1:2. All right, so this is on gold 4-hour time frame. That is what I'm kind of looking at. Or we could have a continuation of the uptrend. So as I have put this here, price is currently in a range, in a accumulation zone. So it's been here for a while. So I want to see if it's going to continue up. I can take this off aside, take this. So the other scenario is, if it's going to continue up, we want to see price coming back down to take out this liquidity. So we also have this imbalance zone here, the pending area here. So we could have price coming down to take out this liquidity, and then from here to the upside, continuing the trend. So these are all higher time frame narrative that we can identify. These are all narrative that we can identify. Okay, this is from a different area. So let's mark these areas. So this, we had a breakout structure right here. Let's take this. We had a breakout structure right here on the 4-hour time frame. So with this breakout structure, with that breakout structure, the origin is from here. So we take our L2 and then mark the origin. We mark the origin. So this will be our demand zone. This will be our demand zone. So the inversion that I was talking about earlier on, this is a typical example of it. So we had this area as imbalance supply zone we marked earlier on. We had price pushing through, breaking above it, and then it came back, tapped into this inversion fair value gap, and then took off. So that is what I was explaining. I think, was it on DSY or something? So this is a typical example of an inversion where price takes out or breaks through the imbalance supply zone and then come back to test that zone and then takes off. So we had here this bearish candle. That is our demand zone. So above the demand zone, we can also identify a nice area of imbalance that hasn't been tapped in yet, that hasn't been mitigated. So imbalance. So a typical example of inversion is here that I've shown you. Let's take this out. So we can expect price to come back into this area and then take off if the uptrend is going to continue. If the uptrend is going to continue, this is what we should be expecting: price to revisit this area, filling this or taking out this imbalance, making it balanced before it continue the uptrend. So from this point, from this zone, if we should get a bullish engulfing here again, I'm more than happy to take a trade from here to the upside. I'm more than happy to take the trade from here to the upside. Or if we get a break below, if we get a break below this area, so we have price currently at this level. So if we push down to this area, taking out or breaking through this zone, then I will expect price to come back here, and then from this point on get into the trade from here. So this will be another example of inversion. So we have imbalance demand zone here. So as price breaks below, it's your zone to be engaged in this trade is here. You'll be looking to take the trade from this area. Your stop loss goes above the zone, aiming for 1:2, or you can trail your profit as so long as price continue to push in the direction. So this is the higher time frame narrative that we can talk about on gold. So all we have to do as the week go by is to see which of these narrative that we have built plays out. So if it gives us this and then gives us a bullish engulfing in this zone to the upside, we take the trade to the upside. Or if we have a sweep of liquidity from here and then we break. So let me draw this again to see how we should be expecting. So most likely we have price here. We could have a sweep of liquidity, clearing the liquidity resting above here, and then coming back to break below this imbalance demand zone. So once we have a break below that, mind you can also see this pending area here. So if we get this filled up, as well, once we break below here, most likely this will be cleared. So we'll be waiting in this area to see if we're going to get a reversal on this particular narrative. So from this one, we expect price to at least take out the liquidity resting here, coming back to this area. As we can see, gold has been in a very bullish run, which it has left all these areas of imbalances in the past. So there's a high chance it could just revisit this area and then turn around. So all that I'm saying is let's trade what we see and then apply proper risk management as you go into this narrative. As we go into this narrative, I believe this is much clearer, or it's clear with this explanation. Because as I've also said before, on the left hand side, this is all-time high, so there's no data on the left to be to help us or to make a decision based on what we see on the left hand side. So all we've got is this information here. So if we're going to go further up, we expect price to do this and then take off. So this so this is what I see on gold. So we just have to monitor it and see what it gives us. Other than that, if I see any opportunity within the week, I will post it on the community group. And then we'll take advantage of it. But other than that, this is what I see. Here. Okay, so that is on gold. What's the next? Okay, let's look at US 30. So basically what we were looking at on NAS, it's more or less the same on US 30. So those of us who engage trading in US 30, so NAS, US 30, US 500, they've all on a bullish run and making new highs. So this is a new high. There's no data on the left hand side to, just as gold is doing. There's no data on the left hand side. So so we'll be monitoring this on the weekly. So let's do a breakdown on this one. So currently we have, let me mark we have this break of structure. Break of structure. Yeah, another break of structure. Another break of structure. Yeah, it's on the daily time frame. So it's the same thing you do, break of structure. So once you identify a break of structure, what you all have to do is to mark your zone. Come back to the origin. So this is the origin for this break of structure. So this will be your demand zone. So attached to this, let's see if we can identify any imbalance. So attached to this, we have some imbalance area here, which stretches all up to here. But we will tackle this one first. So that's an imbalance demand zone that hasn't been tapped in yet. So this is an imbalance demand zone pending. We can also identify imbalance here, imbalance all the way up here. So we had another break of structure here. So with this one, I would say has been tapped in, so we don't worry ourselves about this one. So the next one here, break of structure, that hasn't been tapped in, so that is a pending area. Okay, I will not take it from here because we had some consolidation here, so the actual origin is here. So this goes off. The origin of this move that broke the structure is right here. So that will be another area of demand. So with that said, we can only focus our attention here, because this move up did not cause a break of structure. This could not break above this area. We didn't have a body close above here, so that's why I'm not considering there. So we had after this consolidation, this is the move that caused a break of structure. We had a body close above this high. So, and then over there we also have imbalance zone attached to it. So that's an imbalance demand zone. Imbalance demand zone. Looking at this here, we kind of have it partially filled, or it's filled. It looks like it's filled. Yeah, this one here is filled. So the only attraction points I would say will be the liquidity resting here, the liquidity resting in these areas here. That will be the draw on liquidity for price to come back, and then also here. So if anything at all, could expect price push to this zone, and if it wants to continue, that could happen. Okay, yeah, so okay, so that is what I'm looking at. This is on the daily time frame. So let's push a little bit down to the smaller time frame to further refine these areas that we have just identified on the higher time frame. So just as I'm doing it on the daily time frame, it's the same thing as you go down on the step down to the other time frame, lower time frames. You could be identifying or spotting these areas. So on the daily, we spotted and we considered this whole area as the area that we said price broke above it. But on the 4 hour, we can take all this off. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see this was a liquidity area that price took out. So this break of structure right happened here. This was the last high that was put in before the down push, and then after that we came to break above this. We had a body close above this area, so that is the area that we are referring to. So once we identify this, what we do next is look for the origin. So the origin of this push up that caused the break of structure, we'll say it's on this candle here, the last indecision candle. It could be red or green candle depending on the colors you use. So over here I use green and purple, so I'm just dwelling on the last indecision candle before the impulse move that caused the break of structure. So that's what I'm taking, the zone I'm taking as my demand area. Okay, attached to this area, let's see if we have imbalance. Yeah, we do have some area of imbalance, a wide area. So we kind of have this big area of imbalance. So for this, that's where we also say that if we have a wide area like this, we could at least target halfway, 50% of the area. So we could expect price to do this. Price, as it's already on its way, kind of halfway fill this imbalance area and then take off, or it could come all the way down here. So if we at least be watching out for this, and then we see any kind of reaction or reversal from this area, more we can engage in the trade, as this area will also be acting as an area of support. See how many times price tested this area, creating all this liquidity that was taken out on Friday, I guess. Yeah, so we could expect price in this area and then continue to the upside, or we could find price coming all the way to fully fill the imbalance. But the important thing is trade what you see. If we see that price is giving us some confirmation of a reversal here, we take it from here. We take it from here. No, that's not this one. So we take it from here. The stop loss will be below this zone. So this is on the 4-hour time frame. So if we go down to the 1 hour, we could further refine this zone and thereby minimizing our risk to reward. So if we go down to 1 hour, let's see 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. We had this consolidation here, so we could just target this area. We could target this area, and then so all we're doing is refining the zone that we want to take advantage of. So we're finding the zone. So we had this last bullish candle before the break, so we can take our zone from here. So if we have this way, we can now reduce our stop loss, make it much tighter, and then we target the high of this, or 1:2 risk reward. So from this point, this on the 1 hour time frame, you can further refine it on the 15-minute, the entry time frame, if it gives us the better area to look at. So looking at the 15-minute time frame, this demand zone is absolutely perfect to be there. So we can see that that is the last indecision candle that it gave us before the up move. So looking at the refinement on the imbalance area, we will take it from here. So now we have a much smaller area to consider to take our trade from, even though we also will be looking out to see if we have a reaction from this area, if we have a reaction from this big area of liquidity, any zone around here. So this is the same place that price could use as a support and then turn around. So we could expect price to come to this zone. Other than that, if we get a reversal event from this area, 50% of this area, then we could look to take the trade to the upside. We could look to take the trade to the upside. Again, this is US 30, very volatile. So very volatile. So pair that you have to be careful in terms of how you trade it. Okay, any other pair? We are 10 minutes away from our so this coming week I'll be I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be engaging in some more trades. So if I see anything, I'll just post it in the group chats. Yep. Okay, let's look at JPY, GBP JPY. I think I did some analysis on it on Friday and posted it. Yeah, so if we go on the higher time frame, GBP JPY, I think it's also in a bullish run. So there's a weekly time frame, bullish run. So the last break we had here was a change of character on the weekly. So with this, we trace it to the origin. So the origin is here. So all this move here, it's an attempt to come back to take the liquidity resting here, the internal range of liquidity here, and also probably tap into this zone here. Then we'll see if it's want to continue the uptrend, but it's giving us a change of character here. So with this change of character, we most likely will have some form of reversal, which we don't know. So we will just be watching and trade what we see. So this is weekly. Let's go on daily time frame. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we'll focus in this area, but we have the bigger time frame narrative in mind, knowing what exactly price is wanting to do to fill these imbalances above here. We can also see how bullish it has been. We had the last break of structure here on the daily time frame. We had so the most recent one, looking at reading price from this push down, we had this break of structure right there. So if we consider this, the origin is right down here, which it's looking to be far away from where price is now. So that is the demand area we could demand. So in this area, let's see if we can spot any imbalance along the way. So no imbalance here until here. So the only imbalance we can spot near to the demand area is from here. That is the imbalance area that could act as a magnet to draw price to itself. With this said, if anything, price will want to come back to this to fill this imbalance, and then possibly continue to the upside. It could just continue from here. So this is on the daily time frame. If we go down to the smaller time frame, we could maybe narrow it a bit to get some opportunities that we can take advantage of with the most recent price action. But we also have in mind what price is wanting to do on the higher time frame. On the higher time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we had this area here taken out. We had this previous high taken out. So that is, I would say, break of structure. That's a break of structure. So with this break of structure, that is the origin which we have price tapping into there. So we have this origin supply in the imbalance area. So let's see if we have a imbalance attached. So we have this imbalance that we can identify here as well. We can see this imbalance here. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see this imbalance demand zone has been tapped in, so making it no longer attractive for price. This has been tapped in, making it no longer attractive for price. It has been filled and tapped into. So there's nothing interesting here. So from this point on, let's see if there's imbalance here. Yeah, there's some imbalance here, but partially filled. So apart from this, there's nothing really here looking at the 4-hour time frame. So the only thing we can identify here is also there's some imbalance here that has also been partially tapped in. Okay, so we have what we have on what do you call it, GBP, JPY. So we have all this liquidity that has been created here. We have all this liquidity that has been created here. So as we looked at on the higher time frame, ideally this is the area price will be looking to targets. We can also see there's also some liquidity on this side as well, but as it is now, this is the most likely area we could have price clearing out this liquidity resting above here and tapping into or filling this imbalance for a continuation move, as we also have these areas as well. So we could have price doing that. So let's be on the watch out. So from where it is, we could, when price market opens, we could have price pushing down to these zones and then maybe taking off from here on to continue the trend up, to continue the uptrend. Let me check this out. So yeah, so we could have something like this playing out. So in effect, if you monitor this and then see any opportunity here, we can engage in this as well. 1:2, or you can trail your stop as price makes its way to the higher side, because we have that all these zones to be, this area to be which will be acting as a magnet to draw price to it. So let's be on the watch out as price make its way back to these zones. So this is what we identified on the higher time frame. So let's watch out and see how it plays out this coming week as the market opens tonight. Okay, so guys, I think we are almost an hour into our session. So let's monitor these. You can put alerts on these areas. You don't have to sit on your chart and then monitor it 24/7. You can put alerts in these levels, so as price comes back to hit this level, you can take advantage of it and then enjoy the ride. Yeah, so is there any question that you want me to have a look at? Any question at all up until this point? Any question at all? Are we all good? It seems we are all good. Okay, so on that note, I'll say thank you very much for joining me today, and then I'll say happy trading for this week. I believe we'll make some cash this week. We'll make some more cash this week, so I look forward to be trading and then taking advantage